You've been told that staying healthy after 70 is mostly about genetics, that some people are simply born lucky, and the rest of us just have to manage the decline. But what if that's almost entirely wrong? Because right now, scattered across every continent on Earth, there are communities of men and women in their 70s, 80s, even their 90s, walking without walkers, gardening without pain, laughing without effort, who share almost no genetic similarities with each other. They don't live in the same country, they don't eat the same food, they don't share the same bloodline. But they do share something, a set of something. And once you understand what it is, not just what they do, but why it works inside the aging body specifically, you will never look at your daily routine the same way again. Today, we're going inside the science, the real biology, the habits that aren't just good advice, they are, quite literally, rewriting the cellular story of aging. Stay with me, because number 3 on our list is the one almost no one over 60 is doing, and it may be the most powerful of all. Friends, I want to ask you something personal. When you picture someone who's genuinely healthy at 75, not just surviving, but thriving, what do you see? Maybe it's your neighbor who still mows his own lawn at 78 and seems to have more energy than his grandchildren. Maybe it's that woman at your church who just celebrated her 83rd birthday and has never, in the 20 years you've known her, complained of a single ache. Or maybe, and this one is the most personal, maybe it's the version of yourself you're quietly hoping to become. I hear this from patients all the time. They sit across from me and say, "Doctor, I'm doing everything right. I take my medications. I watch my diet. But I still feel like I'm fighting my own body every single day." And my answer is always the same. You may be missing a few small but profoundly important pieces that medicine doesn't always have time to talk about in a 15-minute appointment. That's exactly why I'm here today. Before we go further, this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making changes to your health routine. Every person's body is different, and what I share here is meant to inform and empower you, not replace the relationship you have with your physician. Now, let's get into what's really going on. Key habit 1. They treat movement as medicine, but not the way you think. Here's what surprises most of my patients when I tell them this. The seniors who age the healthiest are not, in most cases, the ones doing intense gym sessions 5 days a week. Now, exercise is wonderful, and we'll talk about the right kind in a moment. But the first thing these remarkably healthy older adults share is something almost embarrassingly simple. They move constantly, gently, all day long. Think of your cardiovascular system like a river that flows steadily, even slowly stays clean. The water moves, the sediment doesn't build up, the banks stay healthy. But a river that sits still, it stagnates. Things grow in it that shouldn't, it becomes a problem. Now, here's the biology that makes this especially important after 70. As we age, a process called endothelial dysfunction becomes more common. The endothelium is the thin inner lining of every blood vessel in your body, and it is extraordinarily sensitive to one thing: movement. When you move, even gently, even just walking to the kitchen, doing light housework, or standing up every 45 minutes, your blood flows more vigorously, and that flow sends a chemical signal to your endothelium to produce something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is, in the simplest terms, your body's own natural vessel relaxer. It keeps your arteries supple. It reduces inflammation at the vessel wall. It is one of the primary reasons some people's hearts and arteries look decades younger than their birth certificate. The seniors who never seem to get sick, they don't think of movement as exercise. They think of it as just what life looks like: walking to a neighbor's house, tending a small garden, dancing slowly in the kitchen while the morning tea brews. Starting today, set a gentle reminder every 45 minutes to stand up and move for just 2 to 3 minutes. Walk the hallway. Step outside and back. That's it. That steady river of movement keeps your vascular system from stagnating, and the downstream benefits touch nearly every organ in your body. Key habit 2. They eat to feed their inner ecosystem, not just their stomach. Now, let me ask you this. When you think about eating healthy, what comes to mind first? Probably, eat less sugar, eat more vegetables, watch sodium. All good advice. But the seniors we're studying take this much further, and in a direction that most people over 60 are barely aware of. They eat specifically to nourish something called their gut microbiome, the vast, living community of trillions of bacteria that reside in their digestive tract. Here's why this matters so deeply after age 70. Research now shows us that after 60, the diversity of the gut microbiome begins to naturally narrow. Fewer species, less variety. And when that microbial diversity drops, something subtle but significant happens. The gut's ability to regulate the immune system starts to weaken. Because here's what most people don't realize. Approximately 70% of your entire immune system lives in and around your gut wall. Think of your gut lining like a wise old security guard at the gate of a large estate. When that guard is well-fed, well-rested, and has plenty of colleagues helping him, he makes smart decisions. He lets the right things in. He keeps the wrong things out. Inflammation stays low. Illness is repelled. But when the microbiome shrinks, when that security team becomes underfed and understaffed, the gate gets porous. Inflammatory compounds slip through. The immune system starts firing at the wrong targets. Low-grade, chronic inflammation takes root, and that is now recognized as the common thread behind nearly every major age-related disease. Heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, even certain cancers. So what do the healthiest seniors in the world actually eat? They prioritize what scientists call prebiotic fiber, found in foods like garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, bananas, and oats. These aren't just vegetables. They are fuel for the beneficial bacteria in your gut. They are, quite literally, feeding your immune system from the inside. They also include regular servings of traditionally fermented foods, yogurt with live cultures, kefir, miso, kimchi, or fermented vegetable preparations, introducing billions of beneficial organisms directly into that inner ecosystem. Here's your practical takeaway from this section. Try to include at least one prebiotic food and one fermented food every single day. Not a supplement first, food first. Your gut bacteria evolved alongside food. Start there. Key habit 3. They protect their sleep like their life depends on it, because it does. Now, this is the one I promised you. The habit almost no one over 60 is treating with the seriousness it deserves. Sleep. I don't mean simply getting to bed at a reasonable hour. I mean protecting sleep quality the way a gardener protects the soil in winter, carefully, intentionally, because everything else depends on it. Here is what's happening inside your brain while you sleep, and why this becomes more important, not less, as you get older. During deep sleep, your brain activates a remarkable biological cleaning system called the glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's overnight janitorial crew. While you're sleeping, cerebrospinal fluid pulses through channels around your brain cells, flushing out metabolic waste, including a protein called amyloid beta, which is the same protein that, when it accumulates, has been strongly associated with cognitive decline. Every night of poor quality sleep is, in essence, a night the cleaning crew didn't fully show up, a little more waste left behind. Over months and years, that accumulation begins to tell a story inside the brain. The seniors who stay sharpest, healthiest, and most energetic into their 80s share one remarkable quality. They are fiercely consistent about their sleep. Same bedtime, same wake time. A bedroom that is dark, cool, and quiet. No screens within an hour of sleep. A gentle wind-down ritual, reading, light stretching, a warm, non-caffeinated drink that signals the nervous system. It is safe to rest now. After 70, the body naturally produces less melatonin, makes it harder to achieve the deepest stages of sleep, and is more easily disturbed by light and noise. This is normal, but normal doesn't mean unavoidable. It means you have to be more intentional, not less. A consistent sleep schedule, a dark and cool room, and a calming pre-bed routine are not luxuries. For the aging brain and body, they are medicine. Key habit 4. They have a reason to get up in the morning, and science proves it matters. The fourth and final habit shared by seniors who seem to escape the illnesses that sideline their peers is perhaps the most quietly powerful of all. They have what the Japanese call Ikigai, a reason for being, a sense of purpose that pulls them forward each morning. And before you think this is motivational fluff, hear the biology. Research from multiple long-term studies now shows that older adults with a strong sense of purpose have measurably lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood, including a substance called interleukin-6, which is one of the primary drivers of systemic inflammation. They also show stronger immune responses to illness, better cardiovascular profiles, and significantly lower rates of cognitive decline. Why? Because purpose regulates the stress response. It keeps cortisol, the primary stress hormone, from chronically flooding the system. And chronically elevated cortisol in the aging body is like a slow leak in the roof. Day by day, it degrades the structure from the inside. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be a second career or a charity foundation. For some of the healthiest seniors in the world, purpose is as simple as, "My grandchildren need me to be here," or "My garden depends on me," or "My neighbors look forward to seeing me on Tuesday mornings." Small anchors, daily pulls, a life that expects you to show up tomorrow. If you've been feeling adrift, if retirement or loss or changing health has quietly stolen your sense of forward motion, I want you to hear this clearly. Rebuilding purpose is a medical intervention. Pursue it with the same seriousness you bring to your medications. Friends, let me bring this home for you. The seniors who never seem to get sick after 70 are not mysteriously lucky. They are not genetic outliers living in some impossible paradise. They are people much like you, who have, perhaps without fully realizing it, built a life that works with their biology rather than against it. Steady, gentle movement that keeps their vascular river flowing. Food that feeds the ecosystem inside them, rather than depleting it. Sleep that they protect and honor as the biological repair process it truly is. And purpose, a reason, however quiet, however small, to step into each new morning. These habits are not difficult, they are not expensive, they are not reserved for the young or the fortunate. They are available to you, right now, today. Here's what I want you to do in the comments below. Tell me your age, and tell me just one of these 4 habits that you are committing to this week. Not all 4, just one. Because meaningful change doesn't come from overwhelm, it comes from one honest, consistent step at a time. Have you already started protecting your sleep more intentionally? Have you added a fermented food to your daily routine? Have you reconnected with a sense of purpose that makes mornings feel worthwhile again? Share it below. Your words may be the encouragement that someone else in this community, someone who quietly needs it today, has been waiting to read. If today's video gave you something genuinely useful, please give it a like. It helps more people just like you find this channel when they need it most. And if you have a friend or family member who's been telling you they feel like they're just going through the motions, please share this with them. Sometimes the right information at the right moment changes everything. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and ring that notification bell, because every week I'm here, bringing you the clearest, most practical senior health guidance I know how to give. Until next time, stay proactive about your health, stay vibrant, and stay blessed.